Yeah, buddy, here we are. We're back. We're doing it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We're going to continue the Stargate watch party, you guys. So we're going to get on our third and fourth episodes of season 10 of SG1 and season 3 of Atlantis. Damn, dude. How it's gone by so quick. It's gone so quick, you guys. Way quick. Too quick. But, you know, here we are. We're doing it. We're going to keep doing it. Let's jump on over. And I messed up, you guys. Nobody called me out last week or nothing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if somebody noticed and didn't say nothing, shame on you. So remember last week I was like, okay, so we're gonna watch this special feature now because this special feature has to do with next week's episode, right? And then I switched out discs and I was all, oh, we forgot to watch the special feature. Let me put that back on real quick. So I put the discs back and I went to the special feature and I just, you know, I played it real quick. Well, I played the one that I should be playing this week. So now, after these two episodes, we're going to watch last week's special feature. So hopefully, because last week when we were watching that special feature, I was like, huh, they sure are giving away some of the stuff that's coming up next, you know, that sucks. And no, dude, that's user error again. So we know how that user error goes. Welcome to the club. Here we are, you guys. Oh, let's imagine my body looked like. No, I'm just kidding. Damn. All right, no, but seriously, here we are. We're doing it. We're at. Hold on. Huh. Oh, I gotta reset the other camera before we get started. Get to the Pegasus Project. That's the episode we're on. Pegasus Project. Meet me at 5 seconds. You know how it goes. We'll count to 5. No, I'm sorry. We'll count to 3 and we'll press play. There it is. Getting there. All right, hopefully. There it is. Here. All right, we're gonna kill the music. This is our 5 seconds. Grab your snacks, your drinks, all your watch party enhancers. We are at 5 seconds. SG1 season 10 episode 3. We're going to count to 3 and we're going to press play. Hope you're all there. Everybody's good and synced and ready. Appreciate your guys' time. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Damn, so cool. Hell yeah, dude. We finally made it to Atlantis. Damn, dude, so cool. Damn, dude, Jackson finally made it to Atlantis, you guys. How long has he been waiting for that for? Like 3, 4 years now? Poor guy. Finally. Crack those drinks open, you guys. What do you guys got to drink over there? Cheers, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Bro, love it. Francois, what's up, dude? Get it. You caught me in the middle of picking my nose. Hope your day's going smooth. Hope everybody's doing smooth out there. Thank you for being here, chilling. What is it really? Like bad, bad? Man. Is it still clipping bad, dude? I have my headphones on to check my own audio on my voice, and it seems all good on this side. And the streaming software looks like it's doing well. Yeah, it's still bad? Huh. I don't know, dude. Well, sorry for the audio, you guys. We're just gonna have to deal with it. I don't know what it sounds like right now. I'll have to check the playback later. And damn, dude. Yeah, all right. No more talking for me. I'll go in the chat. Yeah, no, I sound bad, but does the episode sound bad too?
Partially.
Check my calculations, McKay.
Was that bad? All right, testing 1, 2. How do I sound? Is it still all jank? Woo, boy. Thanks for the save, bro. Stupid software. Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, dude. Good looking out. What would I do without you guys? It would be a fail of all sorts over here. All right, now we can go back to seeing Bander without any audio issues. Back to picking our nose too. Oh, dude, so annoying. Yeah. Bella True, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Here we are. We're doing it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Rodney. Tell him. Bro, busted, dude. Love it. Bro. Yes.
Exciting as it is to view the Atlantis family album.
Looking for someone in particular?
I don't know of any 10,000-year-old ancients. Take that back, we know him.
Morris was the last High Counselor of Atlantis.
Morris. Apart from the funny hat he's spitting imaging violets.
See, by the time it was mirrored in museum, our word can change over the centuries.
I know where you're going. You think that Merlin or Meaden or whatever his name was came back to Atlantis at some stage and hid these names here as clues for us to find.
No.
No.
The first human to step foot within the city after it was abandoned was Dr. Elizabeth Weir, leader of the current Atlantis expedition.
Are you sure of that?
Evidence of his presence would have been recorded.
Well, darling, I guess that's it. We'll have to leave here with exactly that which we came here for.
No, I already knew Merlin was in the archive. I was looking for someone else.
Who?
Chose your words very carefully when you said the first human to set foot in the city. What about ascended being?
Oh, busted.
You're not really a hologram, are you?
Yo. You're not really a hologram, are you?
You have your answer, Daniel Jackson. I suggest you act on it.
Damn. Ghost in the machine.
Might require a little improvisation, but I think between the two of us, we should be able. Our energy output problem isn't one of degree, it is one of duration. We need to calibrate an explosion with a low enough yield that the gate can survive, but maintain sufficiently high energy for there to be a cumulative effect on the matter stream. You see, when I first realized
We
that
used two bombs.
yes, that was totally the bad part.
We set the second device to detonate within a few seconds of the first.
I'm sure. Made the calculations, yes, the right
Bro, you just got here today. What are you talking about? Yeah, dude. That's probably what she thinks.
This is a computer-generated image of Atlantean woman who lived 10,000 years ago. I'm pretty familiar with the program. It hasn't changed. Question: whose image is your avatar based on, and what's the purpose of your program? I was created by Goddess Lal in her image for the purpose of assisting younger minds.
And what makes you think I'm wrong? The starter sheet told us exactly what we needed to know.
Oh, good.
Does this interface have the capability of playing back events from earlier in the session?
Yes.
Then play back the last sentence she said to you before she disappeared.
You have your answer, Temple Jackson. I suggest you act on it.
Bro, she looked right at him.
See? Her demeanor completely changed. She looked directly at Dan, and it was really creepy.
Well, I did warn you that she could be patronizing.
You said this device uses a lot of power. Is there any way of determining exactly how much power was used?
Yes, control room, this is Weir. I need you to access the power usage logs for the hollow room.
Yes, ma'am. None.
None? Bro,
Are you sure?
Well, the lights are on. Other than that,
drop the act, sister.
Got you.
Got you.
I owe you an apology, Dr. Jackson.
There's no need, Dr. Weir. I'm the one who should apologize.
Bro. We've had an ancient living here just chilling right under our noses this whole time. Bro.
Understood, Colonel.
Maintain a good, safe distance, Teal. There's a possibility we could vaporize the gates on both ends if we get this wrong.
It's like 5%, maybe 7. We'll be fine.
You guys are different around here, Major. Coordinates are set. Beaming the warheads in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark.
The second attempt was also unsuccessful. However, energy did pass between the Stargate and the supercomputer.
Close, but not enough.
Indeed.
sub 2 more bombs. I said we increase the yield to maximum and try it again.
You were the one who said a maximum yield blast would vaporize both gates.
We've only got one more shot at this. What difference does it make?
Man has a point, Sam.
Each attempt is forcing a gate closer. The event horizon is a black hole. To keep safe beaming distance, I'm gonna have to bring the Odyssey even closer.
Well, the closer you get to the black hole, the more systems are affected by its effects.
The sublight engines and beaming technology are fine, but communications and sensors are all out of whack already.
We're flying blind?
Not quite, but close.
Odyssey, this is Teal. My sensors indicate that an OI vessel is approaching these coordinates. At their current speed, they will arrive within minutes.
Bro.
Now try again.
Not a chance. It takes time to set and calibrate warheads and detonators. He needs to get out of there.
Can't do that.
Well, why not? Is this synced up?
Damn, dude, what does she know that she's not telling us? Well, a lot, I'm sure. But what do I want to know that she's hiding from me? Damn, dude. Tell her, Daniel. Bro. Excuse me. Bro. The Wraith, bro. In an SG1 episode.
There's no sign of the
Bro. Shields at maximum. Shields are only holding at 20%. Bro, what? That's my maximum, 20%. It's over. It's a wrap, dude. Bro. Yep, there was. Damn. Bro. How much time passed in order for them to slingshot like that? Do you know what I mean? Bro. And they got it. Woo! Thanks to the Wraith. Bro. Damn, dude. No way. No way. Hell yeah. Not only did the Wraith ship get destroyed, but so did the Ori ship. Yo. Bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's metal as hell. Damn, that's a good point, dude. They're not gonna help. Dirty, bro. We'll restart that timer. Well, it's so funny. It's ending like Atlantis, but it's SG1. Damn, you guys. All right, since we already saw the special features for this episode last week, we know it has something to do with ball. So yeah, let's get it. All right, it's called Insiders. Insiders, you guys. All right, we're at 5 seconds. It's previously on Stargate, so yeah. Ancient repository. Yeah. All right, here we go, you guys. We're gonna count to 3 and press play. 1, 2, 3.
He's been gathering up Stargates from all over the sector for the last several weeks.
You know, during myth, Morgan was a powerful sorceress. King Arthur's half-sister and an adversary of Merlin.
That would suggest she may have had a hand in the disappearance of the weapon we seek.
Well, we're looking for the names of 2 planets, known on Earth in ancient times in the dialect of Old English as Castiana and Sahal.
Such a good episode we just watched.
What's the latest from the search party? Nothing much to report, sir.
The toxic atmosphere on Castiana has slowed things down considerably. Now, we found evidence of stone structures on Sahal, but they appear to have been abandoned over 40,000 years ago.
So basically, we've got nothing.
Not yet.
You went all the way to the Pegasus galaxy, had a face-to-face encounter with a full-blown ascended being, came away with not one, but 2 gate addresses, and they both turn out to be dead ends?
Well, see, that's the part that doesn't make any sense, sir. If Morgan didn't want us to find Merlin's weapon, then why tell us anything at all? We must be missing something.
That's what Dr. Jackson keeps telling me.
You heard from Daniel?
He checked in from Camelot this morning. He's convinced that the answer is somewhere in Merlin's library, but he hasn't found anything yet.
Sorry to interrupt, General. You're needed in the control room.
What is it, Chief?
We just received a heads up from NORAD, sir. The Alkesh bomber just entered Earth's atmosphere about 4 minutes ago. Bearing indicates Cheyenne Mountain.
Bro, what?
2 F-16s out of Peterson have been rerouted to intercept. We're patching us in.
Repeat, you have entered a flight-restricted zone and are requested to land immediately. Please respond. Aircraft 1, alien vessel is unresponsive. Should we engage?
If they were friendly, they wouldn't be flying silent.
Maybe their communications are down.
We can't take the chance. Bearcat 1, this is General Landry. You are clear to engage.
Yo.
Alien vessel has been disabled. They're coming down hard.
I've got projected coordinates.
We're on it, sir.
Bro. Damn, dude. We don't trust you, bro. It's probably pulling Trojan horse nonsense. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Let me in. Oh, that's a different one, but I'm hurt. Let me in. Somebody's after me. Psych. Gotcha. You know? I wouldn't trust him. I'd tell him, you know what, dude? How about this? How about you just, well, come on in. Dial up the gate wherever you want to go and just get out of here. And then he can dial it up or let us know what he wants to dial to. We'll dial it up. And then as soon as that happens, the kawoosh, when the event horizon forms, you know, accidentally give him a little elbow shove, falls into it. Whoops. Sorry.
Oh, this is interesting.
Bro, what a smart plan. I don't know. Probably common, bro. It's just like when grandpa comes over and does the quarter trick behind your ear. It's like, oh, dude. People just playing characters when they're old. Oh, I used to be this person and this person and this person. And then when they're super old and dementia sets in, they are that person all over again, but for real. Bro, bro.
Your people are getting nowhere, sir. You think you can do better? It's what we're trained for. I could have half a dozen agents here by tomorrow. I'm talking about offering our services on your investigation. If any of the bulls knows where Merlin's weapon is, we'll find out.
By your own admission, the NID wants this over with as quickly as possible so they can move on to something they think is more important. Under those circumstances, I think you'll understand why I prefer to stick with my own people.
Damn, dude. That's a general with integrity right there, with honor. My super general.
So, how are the interrogations coming?
You have to ask.
Damn, dude, he's acting way weird. He's probably a glow. Glowies? Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes. Yeah, got him. Damn. Bro, just like that. It's on the inside, dude. Oh. Damn, you guys. Well, that was the SG1 portion of the watch party for tonight, but we are going to watch the special features that we have for this, and then we're going to switch over to Atlantis. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so last week we saw the Insiders feature, special feature, which I messed up on. 51, what's up, dude? Here we are. I'm glad you made it just in time for the special features. I decided to do them last. That way everybody would be here because I took off the ability to rewind and fast forward. That way, if anybody, hopefully that way the lag is less between me and the watcher. So yeah, we're trying it like that. But yeah, dude. Whoops. But yeah, dude. Here we are. We're doing it. Thanks for being here. Grab your snacks, your drinks, your enhancers. This is the Ori, a new enemy. Let's see what's up.
The power and the greatness of the Ori cannot be denied.
Word the big
Those who
bird.
reject the path to enlightenment must be destroyed. Hallowed are the Ori.
Well, the Ori are like the Ancients' brothers and sisters, for lack of a better word. Years and years ago, in the Ori galaxy, there was a race known as the Alterans, and they split into sort of two groups. One eventually became the Ancients, and the others became the Ori.
The Ori are actually very much like the Ancients. They're ascended beings. They currently exist on another plane of existence.
No, the Ori are wrong for doing what they're doing, but the part that I haven't figured out yet, the part that's really bothering me, is why they're doing it. I mean, why do they care if people worship them or not?
But they started once as a people. In fact, the Ancients were also, when they were humans, coexisted in another galaxy very far, far away.
We've always presumed that the Ancients were the first evolution of humans in this galaxy. But this is the first evidence suggesting they came here long ago from somewhere far, far away.
Yes.
The humans basically developed into people with two opposing philosophies.
The Ancients had a devotion to science and the study of science, whereas the Ori were all about religion. And so the Ancients took off and came to the Milky Way galaxy and ascended and became all-powerful, whereas the Ori stayed in the Ori galaxy and also ascended and became all-powerful.
One became the Ancients, this sort of benevolent group of higher beings who chose not to interfere in any way in the existence of lower humans. The other, the Ori, being a group of ascended beings who had discovered that if you have humans in our realm worshiping them as gods, it actually made them more powerful.
For starters, did you know that the Ori need people to worship them because that's how they gain their power?
You didn't know.
No, I didn't know that.
So they created a whole bunch of human beings who could worship them.
They demand devotion. They invented this religion, and they demand that people worship them and serve them. And in exchange, they make these vague promises about ascending people, but as a matter of fact, they never do that.
When they eventually learned how to ascend, evolved to that point, they had made certain discoveries about then being on that higher plane that allowed them to manipulate the situation. There's an old adage that says your heroes are only as good as your villains are bad, and at the point where your villains start to look a little weak, your heroes are not such heroes anymore. So as we got on in the series, we had felt very much like we had taken the Goa'uld down, a few notches in terms of their threat level in the galaxy. And it was kind of becoming tiresome. I think we felt it was time to close that chapter of SG1 and finally turn the page to a new villain who could be as much of a challenge to us as the Goa'uld were when we first started the series back in season 1.
It was unwise of you to challenge me.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind another crack at it.
When we introduced them, it was, in my mind, we were back to season 1 now. I mean, we'd taken care of the replicators and the Goa'uld, and for the most part, the Lucian Alliance were just a nuisance more than anything. And you know, we looked at winding down the season at that point in the show, and once again, they had said, no, we're going to go again. No, we've got no bad guys. So that was when Brad and Rob sat down and decided that the Ori were going to be the embodiment of our antagonists.
Hallowed are the Ori.
The Goa'uld are the ultimate posers in the galaxy. They stumbled upon all this technology that was left behind by the ancients and assumed control of it and told everybody it was theirs and then forced people to worship them as gods. The Ori, on the other hand, I mean, they're ascended beings, and for all intents and purposes, they do have extremely advanced godlike powers that the Goa'uld don't. They can lift people in the air, they can heal people that are sick, or the powers that they pass on to the priors, they can demonstrate them. So the Ori are actually a lot tougher villain to fight, because how do you fight an all-powerful ascended being?
There were a lot of people, I mean, a lot of fans initially, when we first introduced them, were like, oh my God, how are we ever going to beat them? You know, that's what we wanted. I mean, we don't want you to think, you know, we're just going to kill these people and be done with it. It's got to seem like a challenge, and, you know, our heroes have to struggle to win.
It's all lies and propaganda as far as they're concerned. We're wrong, they're right. They're good, we're bad. We must worship the Ori or die, and they will fight until we are dead or they are, period.
When we would go to a planet and find Jaffa there, we could, you know, shoot the Jaffa, and then it was a numbers game to a certain extent. But when the Ori sent priors to our galaxy, suddenly the odds are stacked in their favor because you have a guy that can do things with his mind.
The way the series originally started with the Goa'uld is that they tried to make it seem as though all of their technology was magic. You know, in some respects, that's what I think we're doing with the Ori, where a lot of the power that seems to come from these ascended beings and, you know, and the abilities of the priors to use that technology, we need to look at that in awe to a certain extent for a while, and, you know, eventually, you know, hopefully we'll be able to use it against them the way we ultimately did with the Goa'uld and Goa'uld technology, which, you know, it took us several years in SG1 to finally ultimately use it to our own advantage. Developing the priors and the look of the priors was obviously a very important aspect of creating the new villains. We wanted them to feel unsettling.
The white face and the milky, you know, blind eyes. I mean, is very just creepy. You know, they're scary.
When they came to us with the priors, they were to be the sort of point men, if you were, the missionaries that went out there spreading the word for the Ori.
There was something about the idea of someone who, you know, could see all without sight that made them very interesting.
Their garb is very simple. I mean, it's very much in line with a lot of religions in that you don't make importance out of your earthly belongings. It's all about your spirit and your belief system.
A lot of fans love the Goa'uld and how over the top they were, their lavish costumes and stuff like that. But there's something very just eerie about the priors. They dress simply. They're not in lavish costumes. They're like peasant wear. You know, they're like, their whole life is about devotion. They're like monk's robes, I guess.
Rob was very, I mean, he had a very strong idea in his mind of what these guys were to look like. And although I did go through a lot of renderings and drawings trying to define exactly what the final look would be, it was minor refinements to a theme that I think we hit right away. And it's supposed to have the look of someone who has looked into the face of God and been branded by this. And in the same way with Garak, Lou Gossett playing one of the priors eventually, you know, he started out with his the tattoo of Garak, which I also came up with for them because it was a new tattoo. And then because the priors slash docile slash Ori couldn't, I mean, you have one God you pray to, and that is the Ori. And he's got this symbol of the deity that is his, you know, that he's following at the time. So I did a treatment where the gold of the first prime had actually melted down his face and formed into the scarifications on his cheek and left a little hollowed out point where it used to be. I thought that was quite successfully achieved.
Enough! The gold are imposters. But the Ori are the real gods.
And then we gave them the staff, which is, you know, again, a symbol of their power, but also kind of speaks to biblical religious icons of the past.
Hallowed are the Ori.
Prior staff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How about this, huh? This is a great new prop. Basically, it's just a plastic mold, hard plastic, but we've got a doweling system. All the electronics are held in here because we have a little light switch here that throws that on. Batteries going here at the bottom, right here.
What do you do exactly, Ivan?
And yeah, we make it magic.
We wanted it to be sort of this old, you know, wooden thing, but also to have this higher technology in it, the glowing crystal.
Coming up with the look of that was kind of fun too, because it almost looks like the crystal has grown within the wooden structure, just kind of a driftwoody kind of thing. Rob had sort of come to me with this circular motif that he wanted to see, and I suggested putting the ring within the ring. It was a large circular vessel, which is like an oblong ring or an oval, and then within that was a perfect circle, and there's a visible power source or energy source that glows when the ship is moving within that massive ring on the back. From there, you know, now I know I've got a sort of floor plan laid out, if you will, for the ship overall. And Brad had at one point mentioned, you know, sort of Jules Verne-ish. So I kept that in the back of my mind when I was doing this, and then developed some concepts for the interior of the Ori ship.
We had established some continuity at the end of last season. I drew up this drawing for the window mullions and what the rest of the room would look like.
All CG. Everything in the background was computer generated.
And then that's the final product at the end of the day that they produced. We had already established somewhat what the inside of the ship looked like, and we had continuity that we had to live up to.
So you've gone more back to your original concept in the ship that we built.
Quite honestly, we did.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mistake to kind of try and tell everything at the beginning, because you'll get boxed in. You want to leave the door open so that you can kind of dole it out slowly, the information, the details, why things are the way they are. That helps to create mystery, but it also helps to keep you from, you know, making mistakes with the villains and sort of saying too much that you might regret later.
I think a lot of the credit still has to go to Rob. I mean, I think he had a lot of this planned out in his head before season 9 ever came to be. I think he had the story in the back of his mind.
The first thing you saw were the people, then you got introduced to the priors, and then later on in the season you saw the crusade beginning and the idea of the people turning into warriors, and we saw their armor for the first time. It was really sort of an unveiling. It started with these priors kind of going around and being missionaries and warning of the coming crusade, and then we slowly got into revealing you know, how this was all going to look and feel. I always quite liked Julian Sands' performance as the Dosai and his little showdown with Daniel Jackson in Celestis, the Ori city. I thought that was a great moment, and I still go back to I think the first moment when we met the prior and he healed Vala, because I think that the moment where she's burned is such a visceral and maybe uncharacteristic moment for Stargate, and then the way in which Michael Shanks did such a wonderful job showing Daniel's concern for her. It was a moment that I felt really bonded Daniel and Vala's character together and make her inclusion in the team work for the rest of the series.
Throughout the rest of the season, because we were dealing less with the Ori themselves and dealing more with their followers, we had to determine what the priors were capable of. In Powers That Be, that's where we went to try and save a planet, and we lost. we took everything we had to the planet and shot at them. We fired weapons. We did everything we could to stop these guys, and learned we were completely out of our element. I mean, there's no way we're going to defeat these guys without a new plan.
I'm not saying we should give up. I'll fight to my dying breath. I just think we need a new plan. A damn good one.
But I think that was sort of a moment where the priors really became clear, and what they were capable of and what they were doing in our galaxy really became clear with that episode.
Tell others what you have seen today.
You know, talking to the priors sometimes it doesn't get us anywhere, because they're so indoctrinated that you talk to them and they ignore what you say and they spout Ori rhetoric at you. Whereas Adria, I mean, she's smart, she's half human, and she understands our point of view, and she was somebody we could debate with.
We had planned to really put a face on it and give you a figurehead leader that would lead these armies and also be a sort of spokesperson villain for everyone to identify as that's the bad guy. And in this case, it's bad girl.
What of the village?
Have they agreed to accept the teachings of Origin?
No.
Then burn it.
It brings a real human face to the Ori army and the Ori force in our galaxy. The Adria moments that ring out the season, I mean, in Flesh and Blood, all the rapid growth and the 3 stages of Adria, some of those scenes, we had child actors coming in, and I think those were some particularly memorable scenes with Vala, giving Adria a name and Adria, talking so creepily as a child, with all this Ori rhetoric coming out of her mouth.
That is why all those who could not be made to see the true path must be destroyed, or all will be lost.
I think fundamentally we all want to believe that there's something else beyond this world, and whatever that may happen to be. And I think that fundamental human belief, we can see that illustrated in different civilizations all over the galaxy. They share that belief with us. And, so it's only natural for a civilization in a remote part of the galaxy to start to believe in something when somebody comes along and says, this is the way it is. I'm here to show you what the afterlife is, or, what ascension is.
One of the things that I think we've been very clear about is that we, the team, and we, the writers behind the show, are not telling anyone what to believe or what's right and what's wrong as far as their own beliefs, until you cross the line into murdering innocent people in the name of your beliefs. I think that that's if there's a blunt statement that I think we were courageous enough to make, is that, yeah, killing people in order to get them to either fear you or believe what you believe is not the right thing to do.
All right, you guys, I'm going to switch over to Stargate Atlantis. Get there, find it, do it. We're going to be on season 3, episode 3. All right, you guys. So last week we saw No Man's Land and Misbegotten. Now we're on Irresistible. Meet me at 5 seconds. I'll count to 3 and we'll press play. All right. That's my 5 seconds right there. Ready? Here we go. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Bro. Bro, Lucius, this guy. All right. Yeah, dude, that guy. Yup, exactly. He was the one that was calculating translating the text, the hieroglyphics. What was it? Doorway to Heaven. And that's when James Spader came in and was all, no, it's supposed to say Stargate. Yeah. Good eye, bro. Yeah, that's him. That's our dude. Yeah, this is a pretty good episode. This is a good one. Yeah, buddy. Get those enhancers going. Bro. But I want one. Pick them noses. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna give you my bag of tricks. Bro, the baby was frozen solid. Lucius, bro, the best storyteller there is. Bro. Carson Beckett, dude. Dr. Beckett all stuck in the story. Bro. Carson. Bro. Lucius Lovin, bro. Carson, bro. He's already got him. Bro. Yeah, for sure excessive. Carson. Bro. 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 Ow. What? Bro, Ronan. He doesn't smile like Teal. Look at him. Bro. I mean, he doesn't laugh like Teal. Teal smiles. Ronan doesn't smile really, though. Bro. Yeah, dude. What's going on here? Exactly. Bro. Bro.
Catwoman used a drug to put a spell on Batman, make him fall in love with her. Ended up doing all sorts of evil things for her. Kind of turn on, actually. It's Julie Newmar in the cat outfit.
Eartha Kitt was Catwoman.
Not till season 3.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Oh, so anyway, I did a little investigating, and surveillance footage, loose quarters.
What's this?
I took the liberty of searching his room. There's some residue from the liquid still in the vial. Takes some time to break it down. I could have used Carson's help on this, but
He's up picking daffodils for his new friend.
Right.
That's brilliant.
This is actually how we found your planet. So you just fly to a planet, you take the gate, you fly away.
Well, we try to take stargates that are in fixed orbit around the planet, and then only if the planet is uninhabited. Obviously, it wouldn't be right to take a gate from a world that depended on it for trade.
Wait a minute. I've heard of this planet.
You have?
Yeah, I have. And I've heard that this planet is completely uninhabited. That's what I've heard. I don't know about you guys, but I got a good feeling about this planet.
Well, then we could retrofit the gate for space deployment.
Beautiful and crooked. The two B's.
Dr. Witter.
Oh, hi, John. We were just discussing the gate harvesting program.
Yeah, I heard.
And Lucius knows of an excellent planet we should investigate.
I heard that too. We got intel that the Wraith recently set up a major outpost there, in alliance with Three Eyes.
No. Really?
Has your intel been verified?
We haven't put boots on the ground, no, but our contacts are trustworthy. Not gonna send a team down there, not when there's still plenty of gates to scout.
John, you are way behind Rodney's quota.
Forget Rodney's quota. I am not sending a team into harm's way.
You know what? Colonel Shepard is right. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. With all your advanced weapons, you could easily dispose of a tiny Wraith outpost, if there even is an outpost. But ultimately, is it worth the risk? No matter how small that risk may be. I mean, sure, people may label you a coward.
You knock it off.
Colonel, I think it's worth investigating.
No, I won't allow it.
John, are you questioning my authority?
Bro.
When it comes to the security of this base, you're damn right I am. From now on, no one goes through that gate without my authorization.
What a terrible cold he must have.
This is not like him, Lucius. I apologize.
What a terrible cold he must have.
He's really a good man.
I don't see it. He doesn't come around. You never do something.
Elizabeth wants to send a team to check out a gate at a suspected Wraith outpost.
What is she, nuts?
Everybody's nuts, Rodney. Haven't you noticed?
Right.
We need to figure out why without drawing too much attention.
I am working on it, but there's not enough of the liquid to work with. I need more.
Go back to Lucius's village. I'm sure he keeps a stash there. Just grab some.
What, you leaving me here alone?
But you said you need the liquid.
Yeah, but the place is turning into a nut house.
Somebody's got to stay. Just keep away from the nuts. Hey, and you've got to disable the VHD as soon as I'm done. Prevent anybody from dialing out, okay? Well then.
Shepard!
Are you all right?
Where is he?
Lucius?
Did you take him? Of course, if you did, we're not angry.
Came to my planet on his own.
Please send him back. It hurts us to be away from him for so long.
Bro.
Have you always felt this way about him?
No. But one day, as he returned from trading his wares with the distant people, he told me a story. A wonderful, wise, sweet story about something he accidentally stepped
Yeah, dude, bad. They all need their fix. Bro. He got him. Bro. Bro. Bro.
Now don't overreact, John.
Are you kidding me? You send a team led by Beckett to a planet full of Wraith. How do you expect me to react?
Well, firstly, they volunteer.
And secondly, we got the hub.
Carson, I will tell people of the tale of your bravery for many years to come.
Well,
Yes, I will.
you sent them to get nerve?
We wanted to go.
Okay. I've just about had enough.
Don't touch it.
Damn, dude, like that, huh?
What on earth is wrong with you, John? We were just helping a friend. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think there's something wrong with him.
You know what? I'm just tired. It's this damn cold. I apologize.
Maybe you should get some rest.
You're probably right. I just need a good night's sleep.
Bro.
So what does this do? That engages the HUD, stands for heads up display.
Heads up. I love that. It gives me whatever information I need when flying the jumper. Navigation, weapons.
You fly this thing? I can fly it too.
Yes, now that you received the ATA therapy, which I invented, I was actually born with the gene, which makes me much more proficient at operating ancient technology.
It does not. He doesn't fly this thing any better than I do.
Don't you
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. It's got the sweats and everything. Fever dreams. Yeah, hit him again. Damn, and they threw him in jail.
Pretty great. How'd you get by before that? I was a baker. Lived mostly. Occasional.
Yup.
Pretty much changed everything. So I perfected a potion. It worked great for years. Then the race went up an alcove from the only planet where I could get the herb. No, I could never go back there. Tell me, should I? I'm telling you, it was fate. See, that's the great thing about this herb. Nobody gets hurt. So just want to help me all the time. What's wrong with that? I'm a nice guy.
Bro. Sometimes all at once.
It takes about an hour to be effective. In the meantime, just rest easy, dear friend. Are you feeling okay? Can I get you anything?
No, Randy. Fine.
You're sure?
Absolutely.
Because it would be no trouble.
That's all. Some jello. It's a little bit of whipped cream.
Right away.
We really should talk about marriage.
Bro. Bro. Yup. Now they all learn the hard way. Fly, Lucius, fly, bro. Too good. Bro. I would clown them for so long after this. Bro. Damn, dude. All right, next episode, you guys. Episode 4. All right, next episode is called Satita. That's where Ronan's from, right? Pretty sure that's where Ronan's from, dude. All right, meet me at 5 seconds, you guys. Oh, shit. 6 seconds. Hold on. It's about 5 seconds. All right, here we go. You guys there? Everybody there? After this episode, we'll watch one more special feature and then we'll call it a night. Stick around for that special feature because you'll be able to see it and hear it. It won't be, yeah, you know. All right, here we go, you guys. 1, 2, 3.
You must have visited many planets when you were running
Oh shit, dude. Bro, they're still like trying to scare him off. Or are they actually trying to hit him, dude? I would have taken like one down, and if they keep coming at you, take another couple down, and yeah. Oh, got her. Oh, dude, of course. Got him. Damn, bro. Damn, dude. Wild. So it's not Satita, especially because if it was Ronan's planet, wouldn't it be like a more futuristic planet? They saw it destroyed. We saw what happened to it. But this is like some sort of jungle planet with a bunch of, I don't know, natives. Yeah, dude. We'll see how it goes. Bro. Damn.
What's he talking about?
I gave him some morphine for the pain.
I need to know how many villagers. How far is the gate from the village?
Have you seen a guy around? He looks like you, but he's got messy hair. One guy lost him somewhere, and a pretty girl and a caveman.
I may have given him a wee bit too much, but he was making it impossible for me to treat him.
Snap out of it, McKay. It's important. Come on, what kind of weapons did they have?
I say something that shoots arrows is a good guess.
Excuse me. Why am I lying here?
You have an arrow, Rodney, in your gluteus maximus.
Oh, well, that sounds painful. Gluteus maximus. Oh my god, that's my ass, isn't it?
Aye.
I don't think it makes any sense.
Get him back here.
The leader of your village. Why? Because I need to talk to him. It's too late for you. The Wraith will be here soon.
Bro.
Shoot me with one of those darts, and I promise he'll be dead before I go down. Let him go. Hey, buddy, you want to fill me in on this plan?
Bro.
Let him go now. Get to Tura! I'm here. Unhand him now! I will not free you. These men will kill your friends first. I don't think that'll be necessary. Why don't we all put our weapons down and talk about this nice? Let them go. It's me the Wraith want. They had nothing to do with what happened here.
Ronan!
They won't shoot me. They must know the Wraith still want me alive. I was a little more worried about that.
Get him.
What the hell are you doing? Back off, Shepard. Drop the knife now! No. I didn't mean to bring the Wraith here, but it was my fault.
That isn't true.
You know it is. I should never have come here. I should never have stayed. I'm sorry about what happened to your village. But if you think turning me over to the Wraith will keep you safe, fine. Do it. I'll do whatever I have to make up for what happened. But don't punish them for my mistake.
Oh. Tell him, Aquaman. Ooh. I believe him. I believe him. What? They're getting mad over there on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, buddy, get it. We'll give it a quick minute and let them calm down. Damn. Alright, so it's detecting it with the other camera. Maybe if I show less of the camera. Hang on. Alright, let's try this one. Hopefully that's enough. It's a little less of the screen. Alright, hopefully we're cool now. Damn, he's back home. Alright, cool, dude. I think we're good. Damn, dude, a runner again. Through the city this time, though. Yo, 51, are you going to be doing any streaming tonight? Any Final Fantasy Tactics? Oh, Ronan, get her, bro. Damn, dude. Ronan's sugar mama. Yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. All right, dude. Damn, dude. Get him. Damn. Hell yeah. Damn, dude, what happened to the double tap? Bro.
I'm listening to the chieftain's speech.
Why aren't you packing? I traded every last thing we had to get you on Kel's personal staff.
He's a criminal. He's using people's fear for his own gain.
He's a commander, and his staff gets to go through the gate.
The hospital's gonna need me.
There's not going to be any need for hospitals, Milena. That's just a bunch of words meant to make the people who don't get sleep think there's a chance for them. We shot down 2 ships that came through the gate. 2 small ships. Do you really think that's all they're going to send?
Of course not.
Ships as big as our city have attacked other planets. No one that stays here is going to survive.
Then what are you staying?
I have no choice.
Yes, you do. You believe in this fight. You know they'll eventually find us, no matter where we go. Our only hope is to show them that we're not worth the effort. To go feed on some other planet that won't fight back as hard as we will. We're running. You can't run forever.
Damn, Aquaman. Damn. Bro.
Are you okay?
Come on. You can thank us later. You came back there waiting for us in a jump on the roof.
Get out of here.
Oh, hey. Hey, you've been through a lot, but,
I'm not going anywhere.
What is going on down there? You have at least 25 Wraiths closing in on your position from ground level.
seems Ronan doesn't want to leave.
Well, too bad. You set an ungrateful example of unevolved humanity, and we came all this way to rescue him. So it better get off his ass.
Okay, he says he's won't come with us.
Control his people. They had a deal. They traded me for their freedom.
You're doing this for them? Those people, the ones on the planet who turned you over to the Wraith?
It was my fault they were cold.
Ronan. The Wraith didn't honor the deal. Katura and his village, they're all dead.
Now, can we go?
No,
Why not?
because I'm gonna kill the Wraith responsible for all this.
I don't suppose he happens to be one of the ones out there that's about to come in here.
No, he's probably still up on the hive.
We can't take on a hive ship now.
We won't have to.
Why aren't you moving?
Ronan wants to take care of a few things first.
Oh, really? Like what?
Come on. Let's go kill some Wraith.
Just stay out of my way.
Hey. Anybody want this? You're welcome.
What the hell is going on down there?
Whoever thinks you can get the head Wraith responsible for all this, come down and fight him if we kill all these Wraith first.
That is the stupidest plan I have ever heard.
I don't know. Killing a bunch of Wraith always seems like a good idea to me.
They outnumber you 25 to 3.
It's actually 22 to 3. 21.
And Ronan appears to be quite angry.
Oh, that evens it out. You do realize that there's a hive ship in orbit capable of blowing us off the face of this planet. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to help them.
Wait, Chrissy, you're a doctor!
What does that have to do with it?
What are you doing?
I'm going.
You can barely walk. I can walk fine, I just can't sit.
I did a terrible show.
Oh, what, you're Rambo now?
There's more than one bloody gun. We can both go.
Okay, well, someone has to stay with the jumper.
That's it. Now, okay?
Yeah, it's just you guys left. That was quick.
I got 6. Sarah got
8.
I got 9. Sarah got 8. Mom got the rest.
You want to watch me die up close? You're gonna have to come down here and do it yourself.
Bro.
You want me? The only way
Bro. Oh, yo. Bro. Hell yeah. Woo, Beckett. My homie. Yeah, dude. Exactly, dude. But it's Beckett, so it's like, man, you bastard. A little elbow jab. That's about it. Oh shit, here we go. Bro. Hug it out, bro. That's right. Bro. Bro. Damn, you guys. Well, there it was. We did it. We watched it. We got one more special feature to catch. And then we'll call it a day. Hey, did we already see them? Okay, so we watched two last week. We saw the visual effects department and the Rachel Luttrell one. So we got one that we'll save for next week because the episode that it's for is for next week, and there's one more left for today's episode. So we should be just fine with just one more. Excuse me. Sorry. Hold on. Come on, stupid menu. Yeah, Progeny. All right, here it is, Satita.
Satita is a bit of a sequel to an episode I wrote last year called Runner that introduced Jason Momoa's character, Ronan. You know, I really wanted to expand on that character, tell us a little bit about his backstory and the world he came from, and give Jason a chance to do a little more serious acting.
There's not going to be any need for hospitals, Milena. That's just a bunch of words meant to make the people who don't get to leave think there's a chance for them.
In the story, he goes back to a planet he once went to when he was a runner, and he stayed a little bit too long, and that planet got culled. And at the beginning of Satita, we're on that planet just as a random mission. We're setting up for a pretty big shot. Ronan brought the Wraith to this planet and caused them to be attacked and culled. This is a flashback to that moment. Dude. We're going to see explosions, running, screaming, dogs and cats living together. Yeah, chaos. Turns out those people remember him and have made this pact with the Wraith. If Ronan ever came back and they captured him, the Wraith promised them, you know, freedom and safety from culling in the future if they turned him over. There's an opportunity to develop a Wraith, a single Wraith character that I wanted to create a guy who had a bit more of uber villain, you know, adversarial relationship with Ronan, and he turns Ronan back into a runner, takes him back to Satita, Ronan's home planet that was wiped out, has put a new tracking device in him, and releases Ronan back in this post-apocalyptic world, and now unleashed all kinds of hunter, killer Wraith to track him down and kill him. You know, we felt like we were getting the action-adventure part of the show right. There was one aspect of the show that I think maybe we had taken a little, and that was the chemistry between the team. And I wrote Satita to create a situation in which we could show the strength of the relationships between the team.
He's a member of my team, and he deserves the same respect as anyone on this expedition.
And also to show how much the team had come to mean to Ronan.
Thanks, Doc.
This guy who has sort of always been out for himself, trying to save himself, and those moments are the kind of touchstone moments that fans will remember and help to create the bond between the characters that is, I think, one of the most important aspects of the series. You know, normally on an episode of Stargate, we'll attempt to put together one big location, one big set piece. In this case, we had 3 big set piece locations that we established, and you know, it was a challenge.
Damn,
back in the studio, here we are. I have to say that normally, and then bring all the trucks and everything back to the studio and then go back out to that location, but that's what we did. Yesterday was a huge day. We had tons of stunts and explosions and fighting. It was quite a grueling day shooting-wise, and then we came back here for a nice easy day in the studio. We set up a big village at this place in Surrey in South Vancouver and shot there for a couple of days. We created an awesome post-apocalyptic hospital in this old abandoned mental institution. And then we went and did this whole 3-day shoot at Terminal City. They brought in truckloads of crumbled concrete to make it look like the buildings had fallen apart. And the thing about the you know, set decoration and art department on this series is no matter what you imagine as a writer, it always ends up bigger and better. Yeah, there's a point at which an actor owns the role, and I think that they have to take possession of that character. And Ronan has a particular role on the show. He's the muscle, he's the tough guy, and you know, to really develop multiple sides and dimensions. Jason has worked really hard. You know, when he first read Satita, he came in and gave me a giant hug, and of course I was nervous because I was afraid my head was just going to pop right off. You know, it was like a kid who had just opened the best present he'd ever gotten on Christmas. And I was actually a little worried that maybe he was going to overdo it, that he was going to focus so much on it that it would just become, you know, overcooked. It wasn't. I mean, he was so prepared and had been so thoughtful about everything that he was going to do, and sold out physically. You know, bruises up and down his body. There were a couple times where I felt like, okay, we got the shot, it was great, you know, it looked cool, and he's like, no, I can do better. There's one in particular where he's done this dive across the hall in slow motion with 2 guns, and he's shooting some Wraith, and lands on the ground and rolls over to shoot another Wraith. Well, you know, he didn't have any padding on and he had this sort of plastic armor and hits the ground so hard. I mean, he was in agony.
Hey, Bam, stuntman candy.
Yeah, got it.
Do you ever do stunts?
But that sort of stuff where it's him actually throwing himself on a hard floor and doing the stunt, it makes the show 1,000 times better, and you know, it's just a testament to how committed he was to you know, to this type of performance. Yeah. The scene in which Ronan puts the knife to his throat was one that I was very worried about, probably more so than I would have been had I just been writing the episode. But knowing I was also going to direct it, it was putting that scene on my own shoulders in terms of making sure that it didn't come off funny. At the end of the day, it was really all about Jason and whether his performance was going to anchor the scene. And to be honest with you, I was blown away by how good he was.
I'm sorry about what happened to your village. But if you think turning me over to the Wraith will keep you safe, fine, do it. I'll do whatever I have to make up for what happened. But don't punish them for my mistake.
There were a lot of people behind the monitors kind of, you know, looking around and going, wow, he's really good.
It's gonna be a good scene, a great scene.
The other guy who felt as though I had given him probably one of the best presents he'd ever got was our stunt coordinator, James Bamford. I think if you asked him, he would say it was probably the most stunts he's ever done in one episode.
It's a very intense episode. Actually, Satita is all stunts all day. It's the biggest stunt episode we've had, season 1, 2, or 3. The biggest.
I worked very, very closely with him. He designs the stunts. I mean, I have to, as the director, I imagine what, you know, I'd like to see in the end, but I have to trust a guy like, you know, Bam Bam to tell me what I can actually achieve with human beings. These are real people who are hurting themselves for our art. He's the guy who choreographs the fight. He'll come up with something that actually works for the story. He's very good at that.
You gotta have blood in a fight.
He's not just about the fight or the stunt. He really wants to help sell the story. A lot of times he'd run out and give direction to the various, you know, stuntmen when I thought it was great. And he'd be like, no, we're gonna go again.
Right now we're setting up for a ratchet. Jason's double Glenn is going to be smacked by the Wraith. Big Wraith, played by Dan Payne, is gonna swat him out of the air. He's gonna go flying right into that bay door and bounce off that, land on the landing, and then bounce off that and land on the cement ground. And then, well, the ambulance is right there. One, go.
Oh man, this guy, I don't know him that well. I've heard stories, and he's a big guy and doesn't really move that well in terms of fighting. So that's kind of out of his repertoire as a stuntman. So he basically gets to throw himself into things. That's what he's good at. And then the next thing up was him throwing himself into a telephone pole, which I imagine would be quite painful. He left the ground and hit it, you know, with his back. And unfortunately, our cameraman just missed it. We were trying to do a bit of a tricky camera move on the stunt, and so we had to go again.
Action.
He's lying on the ground in agony. There's paramedics there. Bam Bam's down on the ground trying to, you know, make sure he's okay. The crew's all standing around. Bam Bam looks up and says, "What are you guys all standing around looking at? Go set up for the next shot."
Get moving! Waste of time. You'll be fine.
And I'm thinking, well, the next shot is a ratchet involving the guy that's laying on the ground. And he's like, "Come on, let's go. Get the camera on the roof." Glenn got up. They hooked him up to a wire and they did another stunt with him.
One, go!
I went up to him later in the afternoon and said, are you all right? And he's like, "Best day I've had in a long time." And I said, "Well, I hope you feel that way tomorrow."
This guy's insane. I mean,
damn, dude.
He does things humans shouldn't do, but does them well. Amazing.
Dan did a great job of creating the character that Ronan really wanted to hate. He's done stunts on our show, but he's never done a ratchet before.
So it's kind of a two-piece thing. We've got two cameras on this piece right here. He's gonna get hit in the chest, square in the chest with a drone shot from the puddle jumper. And he's gonna go rocketing through these barrels. Then we're gonna cut and we're gonna pick it up and do another ratchet into the box rig, which is way back there.
He's on set, in his full makeup, watching the stunt guys do tests on the ratchet. It was a bit tricky, and they were doing some tests with a duffel bag full of bowling balls, about 220 pounds worth of weight. The first time this sack of bowling balls hit the bridge, there's this big bridge across the street, and a big chunk of the bridge fell off. And Dan was like, "Oh boy."
And this time we're going to take him right into a cement. Oh, hey, Dan. What's up?
Nothing. What was that?
Bam Bam told me he was just, he was shaken on the first go around, and it went off perfectly.
3, 2, 1, go!
As a producer, I've always felt that I look better when I, take advantage of other people's good ideas. The best producers in the world surround themselves with smart people and listen to them. And, I think the same goes for directing. You can't possibly know everything. Crews are a really interesting dynamic. I mean, when you don't have an idea of what you want, the crew senses that, and I think you lose them right away. But on the other hand, I also think that they feel much more invested in what you're trying to achieve if they participate. One of the guys who I relied heavily on was Nathaniel Massey, who's our A-camera Steadicam operator, who will take a shot that I've suggested and make it great. He's incredible. And there were a couple times where I'd go up to him in the midst of a really tough day and say, "Have you had enough yet?" And he goes, "You can't break me." With cinematography, it's quality and speed are at opposite ends of the scale. Brenton Spencer sat with me throughout the pre-production process, trying to get a sense of what we were trying to achieve visually on the show.
We are setting up for a shot now that is going to be shot at 120 frames per second. We actually see this shot, we're running it at full speed, and then slow it down midway through the run up to the Wraith, so that he starts in regular speed and turns into slow motion as he comes up to him.
He was just tremendous in terms of trying to create a special look for this show. I'm very grateful to his vision and also to his his sense of compromise when it was necessary. The show, how it turns out. I mean, we there were some stylistic choices that I'm not sure everyone agrees with, but hopefully fulfills everyone's expectations, because when you do a show that's that big, that has that much going into it, there's a lot of pressure to deliver, and hopefully it delivers.
Well, you guys, there it was. We watched it. We did it. That was our Stargate watch party. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we got some games we want to play. Maybe we'll get back on some Cyberpunk. I want to try out this new game that I have that I was hooked up. I'll probably toss it on a little bit tonight by myself to like see if I need to create a character or something, you know, do the things that are boring before the game actually starts. That way tomorrow I can just jump in and get into the gameplay without boring anybody. Francois, my dude, thank you for being here. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for hanging out. Tomorrow night we'll get on some Darktide. Area 51, thank you for being here and hanging out. I will catch your stream here in a little bit. Anybody that feels like watching some Final Fantasy Tactics, go over to Area 51 Escape Artist's page. He's gonna be streaming it a little bit tonight. And anybody else that was here, Bella Truth, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chilling. Who else made it? That it? Damn, dude. We got slackers around. It's alright. I'm sure a bunch of bots were in here. Lurkers too. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll catch you here in a little bit in your chat. I'll be here, you guys. I'll catch you guys here soon. Tomorrow, some games. Darktide at night. Friday, some movies. Hopefully, something good and scary. Maybe The Blob or The Thing or whatever you guys were talking. Francois suggested the other day. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when, but tonight. And then Monday, we'll be back Monday for some more cartoons. Either Digimon, what's it called? Digimon Try Part 2, Spawn, Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and or some Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapters. And then Tuesday, we'll get back to some paintings, back to some Darktide, and then Wednesday back to this, some Stargate. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, you guys. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of the night, day, morning, evening, whatever it is over there. Drink that, smoke that, all that. And I will catch you guys here on the next one. Peace.